Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Oh my gosh, I can't believe June is almost over. It's been a crazy couple of weeks over here in the land of the young house. I haven't been on the live training with you all in a really long time, and there's a reason for that. Beginning of the month, our daughter got sick and she had an ear infection, and then she got strep throat, and then we got sick, and we were both struggling with upper respiratory infections. Then we went on vacation from, when was that? The 9th through the 16th. And when we got back, we were still trying to recover from getting sick, and it was just a little bit of a mess. And then the last couple of days, just dealing with more sickness. And so now we're back, and we're back strong, and we're back live. And I'm really happy and excited to be back doing a live training with you all. And I've got something really good for today. So we're going to go over what I have planned for today and what we're going to discuss. So, and I want to share some stories with you guys throughout this training and really give some really good examples around this exact training. So I called it, lead generation, why you're looking in the wrong place when it comes to lead generation. And I'll tell you, I've been on a bunch of calls lately with financial experts, and I hear the same things over and over. I need more leads at the top of my funnel. I need to do more marketing, more PR, more ads. I need to write a book. I need to put myself out there more. And then when I ask them, hey, so how are sales going? Are you hopping on at least 10 calls a week or more? And they'll say, yes or no. And then I'll say, okay, great. Whatever that number is, are you closing, at least 5 or more of those prospects? And I usually get a lot of hesitation to actually answer that question. So some people will say, well, I'm not closing any, or I'm closing maybe 1 to 2, right? I'm converting 1 to 2. But, Brittany, really, I need to hire a marketing guru to help me because my marketing just sucks. And that's why I'm not getting the right leads. I'm running ads, but they're not converting, or I just need to buy a leads list. I need to buy more leads. If that's you, that is okay. If you are buying leads, that's fine. But unfortunately, for most of you, at least what I'm seeing is that leads list is not converting. So I wanted to chat about that today and why this matters and why it's so important, because I've been noticing it on sales calls. I've been noticing it in my own pre-qualification system, or when I'm talking to people in private messenger and just trying to figure out where they're at when it comes to the sales process and why this is important. So a lot of experts have been taught what I love to call the old man model. You'll hear me preach, and I will die on the hill to not have you fall to your death, to the old man model. And the old man model is pick up the phone as many times as you can, talk to, even if they're warm leads, but most of the time they're cold, or if you're buying a leads list, they're a cold list. But pick up the phone as many times as you can, sort of kind of create a relationship, however you may be able to do that. And then it doesn't matter if you're converting that person into a paid client. What matters is that you picked up the phone and you dialed the number and you had the gusto or, those big balls to say, I'm going to call this person. Well, I want to call bullshit on that, because who cares, right? I can pick up the phone and call any single one of you in this group. I can call you on Messenger. I could video you on Messenger. But in the industry, that standard is no longer working. And the reason is because we have sophisticated buyers who are doing their homework when it comes to financial investments, annuities, assets. It doesn't matter what it is, 401, even accounting. There's plenty of leads that are already out there in your pipeline. But the problem is, if you bring on more people, let's say, you have these leads that you're buying, or leads lists that you're being given, and you're piling on more and more people. The problem is, if you have a really crappy sales process, none of these people are going to convert into a client. So you can, create such a great relationship with this person, and it might take you 3 calls, 5 calls. I had a lady tell me yesterday, 12 calls, and that person still did not convert into a client. There's a reason for that. And the reason is because her process sucks. Okay. And, I just want to be honest with you guys about this, because I'm seeing it really often. And it's part of that old man model that I constantly hone in on. So, you're going to hear from your colleagues, gurus, marketing people, like, just get more leads, put out fabulous content. Well, that's another story for a different day, because a lot of financial institutions content sucks too, and it's really dry. But we're going to stick to the sales side for today. Well, you could have more leads coming in, you could get on more calls, you could do all that thing, right? That is not the quickest way to cash. The quickest way to cash is fixing your sales process now, so that when any lead comes in, whether they're your qualified buyer or not, you know how to convert them into a client. Okay. So I want to share a little story with you, and I posted about this on my personal profile yesterday. I was on a call with a woman a couple weeks ago, and she's doing excellent marketing. Their outreach is incredible. She's getting about 48 leads a month. To me, that is fantastic. However, she is converting 4. Okay. 4 out of those 48 clients. Now, that is an 8% conversion rate. The financial industry's standard conversion rate, if you don't know what conversion rate is, it means when a prospect turns into a client, and based on the number of prospects that turn into said clients, you divide the 2, and then you come up with your percentage. Really easy. Y'all know more math than I do, so it's a really easy conversion. That's why it's called conversion rate. So she's getting all these leads. Her marketing's excellent. They don't need any help in the marketing realm. But the sales process is so disorganized that everyone's running with their head cut off. And what she said to me was, we operate in reaction. If this is you and you are marketing, you're marketing and you're putting yourself out there and you're getting people into your marketing funnel, but when it comes to sales, you are in reactionary mode, this piece is for you. Okay. So she's telling me, yeah, we're in reactionary mode. We're not proactive. We do not have a sales process that actually works. Therefore, we're only converting 4 out of the 48. So I went on to share with her that when I begin working with somebody and we dial in the sales process, the conversion rate goes from that 8% to anywhere from 50 to 60%. So we would be closing, what is that math? 24, yeah, roughly around 24 out of the 48 clients. So when I asked her, how would that make you feel? Right? She just lost it. She burst into tears. She said that would mean the world to us as a team. And we feel so overwhelmed right now, and that we can't get out of this reactionary mode. So I said, well, you need to hire me and we'll get that sales process in place. So with all that being said, why I'm sharing this with you is because when clients or even people that I speak to on sales calls, when they make the decision to focus on their sales process and they really hone in on key specifics here. So what I do when it comes to the permission process is I help you not only on the emotional side, but on the business strategy side on your sales process specifically. So we're working on your unique sales language. We're going to really hone in on who that specific niche is that you love selling to and working with and can see yourself working with long-term. And then how you move said client to point A to point B within the sales process. So from the initial call, right? Maybe you have an initial discovery session, or you have a pre-qualification system, which I recommend having that system, which then converts them into what most of you say to me is you do a strategy call. So then you do a strategy session, right? And it's a 2-call close or a 3-call close, not a 6, 12, 25 fucking sales process close. And it only takes about 2 to 3 calls for you to make the decision, not the client, but you to make the decision on whether or not they're a good fit to work with you. And what I see happen is if we walk through this very specific sales process, the conversion rate goes from 0, 20% to 50, 60 plus. Okay. So you're closing half the people that you've had contact with or more. Okay. So if this is resonating, drop me a yes in the chat. Let me know. I want to hear from you. I want to make sure that this is really, hitting home, because it hits home for a lot of my clients and a lot of the women that I speak to when I'm on sales calls. Cool. All right. When prospects or women that I've spoken to lately ignore the sales process, and they continue focusing on bringing in more leads, more people at the top of their sales funnel, and they don't have a sales process in place. Exactly what happened in the story that I told you is leads get jumbled. You're taking more time to kind of stretch out those calls, and maybe these people are not even qualified. They're probably tire kickers. They're wasting your time, draining your energy, asking you for 1,000,001 different, financial plans or something else. And they're dragging you through the mud, dragging your team through the mud. Maybe your team's getting on calls for you, but they're not converting sales. And it's truly coming down to the fact that you don't have the right process in place. You don't have very unique sales language. It sounds like everybody else in the market. So what happens is things become reactionary instead of proactive. And because there is no system in place, then the conversion rate either stays the same or gets worse, or people just stop picking up the phone to call you, or vice versa. You give up and you say, you know what? I don't want to be on this roller coaster anymore. I'm done. Now, y'all do need marketing. Okay. Don't get me wrong, right? You need marketing, but to make marketing stronger, you need a sales process first. The sales process becomes the foundation to your business. Plus, you can recover not so great leads, right? You can also recover people that you have spoken to in the past with a good sales process. The reason is because if you have a process that's built on a solid emotional connection, your prospects or said clients will come back, clients will refer you. There will be that symbiotic connection that you're developing throughout, working with them, and then they're more likely to refer you. But with all that being said, it doesn't matter if you have a ton of calls on your calendar, because if your sales process is ineffective, outdated, not working, you ain't getting any sales. Okay, so that's the reality of this. Now, how this all applies. If you grab your phone, or even like pull out your calendar, if you have a desk calendar, you're one of those people that has a calendar on your phone, like I do, right? I'm pulling out my calendar now. So I have spoken with Vacation. I can tell you right now that I've spoken to 5 people this month. And one of those ladies, she was just not a fit whatsoever at all. And wasn't an ideal client for me. And I knew through my pre-qualification system that she just was not a fit. So if we look at the other 4 calls, I closed 3 of those 4. Okay. So over all 5, I closed 3 out of the 5. The other one also was not a fit, convinced themselves that they needed more marketing and PR, when in reality, the sales process was not the best. But I'm not here to convince. I am not here to sell anything. I'm here to help you understand what you're doing is looking in the wrong place when it comes to, your sales process. So if I look at those 5 calls, I have a conversion rate this month of 60%. And then I also know from those 2 leads that I got on the phone with one of them, the other one I told, not a good fit right now, here's why. With that other person, my dog is in here and wants to eat. She's hungry, I guess. So if you see a little head pop up, that's who that is. With that particular person, they convinced themselves that they needed the marketing piece. They weren't sure why they were on the phone with me. That's all well and good. And I pre-qualified them as well, but wanted to really get a feel for where they were at. With that being said, with, even just that simple way of pulling out your calendar, seeing how many calls you've been on this month. Okay. I'd love to know in the chat based on your calendar. And then seeing how many of those people became clients, divide that top number. Let's say it's 30 calls that you've been on this month, and you've converted maybe 3 or 5, or maybe all 30. Good for you. That's that conversion rate that we're talking about. So whatever that number is, if it's less than 20, it truly is time to focus on your sales process versus bringing in more leads to the top of your sales funnel. Because no matter how many leads, again, you will still wind up with the same conversion rate. Okay. The right sales process will help you increase your conversion rate. It's also going to have you working with ideal clients, and it becomes the foundation of your business versus marketing and lead generation, which is secondary to having that sales process and systems in place. I am sharing all of this with you because in my next training called Clients on Repeat, this is exactly what I will be going over within that training. So we're going to go live on July, mark your calendar, July 13th. Okay. 3 weeks, July 13th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, Texas time. Okay. And what we're going to do in that training is craft a clear, unique sales message for your specific ideal client so that they say yes to working with you. Okay. I've got the link here. I'll drop it in the group. It is a $97 training. And, you know, I run trainings every month. When it comes to sales processes and sales systems, I really want to be able to help you guys with understanding that it is not about the marketing. Okay. It's about the sales process. Having a clear sales process will then help you in your marketing, because what you're going to do is wind up seeing where the bumps in the road are for those clients and to be able to help them, you know, really get clear. And I would say in your messaging, really starting to understand, like in their brain, where the belief shifts need to happen when it comes to marketing. So why would they work with you, right? But if you don't have that sales process, that solid sales process, you're kind of SOL. So I'm going to drop the link to Clients on Repeat. And then, you know, if you're ready to fix this now, if you are ready to look at your sales in a different way, and you're really wanting some one-to-one help, I'm offering free calls. So we can jump on a free one-to-one call. It's called Sell Your Way Audit. We're going to take a look at your sales process, what might be going on in the disconnect of the sales process. You're bringing leads in, you're getting on calls, you know, you're having conversations. Maybe those conversations are going longer than 3 calls, 5 calls, 12 calls, and you don't know why. Maybe you think you have a really solid process, but there's some breakdown. Calls aren't converting. People aren't turning into clients. They're ghosting you. They're not saying yes. Or they say, like, I got to think about it. I need to talk to my spouse, or, you know, I don't have time to go over my finances right now. Can we do it later? Can you just email me? All of that is something that I love to discuss with you on a one-to-one call. Within the training, though, you know, I'll be bringing up these specific examples of what happens when we don't have an effective sales process in place. So you got those 2 links. They're in the training. Okay. I dropped them inside the Facebook group here, right? You've got the one-to-one call, and then you've got the Clients on Repeat link as well. Cool. So really, really excited and happy to be back to being with you all here live. Love me some live trainings. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm always here. And yeah, I am back. and I'm excited to be back. So thank you all for being here and watching. And I will talk to you all soon.